Welcome to How to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Historic Archetype, Gem Knight.
Chapter 1.
So in this video, I'm going to talk about Gem Knight and the impact this archetype has had on Yu-Gi-Oh! With that being said, let's get on with the rest of the video.
Chapter 2.
So let's talk about it. Gem Knights, as you can see on the cards in front of you, have been an archetype that when they were released, the first thing that the players did with them was to do a burn FTK. This deck has been notorious for simply just doing burn FTKs.
Believe it!
While Brilliant Fusion has been the first card in the game to facilitate an engine, being the fact that it was used in conjunction with a Gem Knight monster and Gem Knight Garnet, and Garnets are now called dead cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's another trivia right there, as this was a vernacular that has been passed on by Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, as Gem Knight Garnet was used as this engine was so popular, the term a Garnet was a dead card in your hand. Anyways, leaving that aside, the fact of the matter is that this archetype has only been known for one thing, and one thing only: burn FTK. Yes, it's that serious. And it basically uses you normal summon, you fusion summon Gem Knight Lady Lapis Lazuli, and then you would make Gem Knight Master Diamond, copy the effect of Lazuli, burn, and just keep doing that over and over again because it could copy effects. Absolutely insane. Anyways, part of the reason why Gem Knights have been so successful is Gem Knight Fusion. When we look at this card, it was ahead of its time. The fact that it can add itself back from the graveyard to your hand is an effect that cannot be understated here. Even to this day, Gem Knight Fusion is such a unique fusion spell in Yu-Gi-Oh! Being one of I think the only fusion spell in the game that can add itself back to the hand via its own effect is absolutely insane when you think about it, meaning that it had very strong consistency when it came to fusion summoning. Gem Knights had a very strong way of fusion summoning. And then when you look at Gem Knight's monsters effects as a whole, like for example, with Gem Knight Phantom Quartz, as you can see in front of you, stating when it is link summoned, you add a Gem Knight card. But the other effect is that you can shuffle fusion materials listed in your deck or your banished zone and then fusion summon, meaning it links with Gem Knight Fusion. Everything connects together as you can just refuse, remake stuff, and redo things that you couldn't do before. So definitely that is something that needs to be considered when we talk about Gem Knights. Let's get on with the next slide.
Final chapter.
As you can see on this slide, you see Gem Knight Seraphonite. Gem Knight Seraphonite is one of the most famous fusion monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! As this was a monster that was put in every single deck during its time period for a very long time, in fact. One of the most popular engines in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, with Brilliant Fusion sending Gem Knight Garnet and another Gem Knight monster, again making Seraphonite. And Gem Knight Garnet being so famous that it became a colloquial term in the community for a dead card in your hand is considered a Garnet. Indeed, that is the case. In fact, Gem Knights have had such a notorious reputation for doing burn FTK after burn FTK, and the only thing they do is burn, that on the new support that Gem Knights have gotten, we can see that Gem Knights, a hollow core, for example, if you can see its effects, that it halves you can't deal, you halve the effect damage that you can deal right, with Gem Knights. So it's absolutely insane. The fact that Konami's tried to stay away from the burn aspect of the archetype. Part of the problem is that Konami has given Gem Knights this linear playstyle, and even with the new support, right, there is simply no way to change the playstyle of Gem Knights so that it is successful. And I think that's generally it, really. So let's head on to the conclusion.
We come to the end of this video. So, as I like to say, you are one step closer to becoming a Yu-Gi-Oh master. My fate, right, is in your hands.